Bruce Brown to the New York Knicks reports are escalating, and as of right now, the New York Knicks are topping the list as one of the main teams interested in trying to trade for Bruce Brown. But also, the Toronto Raptors have recently clarified what Bruce Brown's price point is. We're going to break down exactly what this means for the New York Knicks and so much more today. So if you're not subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Bruce Brown to the Knicks reports are picking up a lot of steam. And right now, the New York Knicks look like the hottest team in the entire league. Winners of 9 straight, looking for their 10th straight win against the Los Angeles Lakers, and they look like nothing can stop them. And when healthy, they are going to be dangerous. But then that begs the question, if they are looking so good, do you really want to ruin the chemistry? And if that's the case, you might want to make a smaller move maybe to your bench that doesn't disrupt what the starters are doing. And that's exactly what the New York Knicks are looking like they want to do. And if they want to do that, one of the players to consider is Bruce Brown, a player that the New York Knicks apparently have a lot of interest in. And I'm not talking about a few weeks ago, I'm talking about right now. Shout out to New York Basketball on the app X for giving us the following update. According to Mark Stein, he states, Raptors president Masai Ujiri continues to search for a first-round pick as the centerpiece of any Bruce Brown trade. The Lakers and the Knicks continue to be mentioned as interested suitors. Forbes also spoke on this, and they covered it as well, and they mentioned the following. The New York Knicks, Los Angeles Lakers, Philadelphia 76ers, Oklahoma City Thunder, Sacramento Kings, and pretty much any team within the vicinity of a playoff spot should be gauging what it would take to acquire Bruce Brown ahead of the postseason run. The reported price for Brown has been clear, a first-round pick and possibly a player of intrigue. And according to a recent report from The Athletic's Joe Verdone, he stated the following about the New York Knicks and what their plans are before the trade deadline in terms of targets. According to him, but you look at a guy like Malcolm Brogdon with the Blazers, he's on a lot of lists. Bruce Brown would be a nice fit there in Toronto. Daniel Gafford perhaps with the Wizards. And he's not the only insider. We have another insider. Shout out to my guy Michael Scotto from Hoops Hype. He also mentions that the New York Knicks have been connected to a number of players, including Bruce Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, and Alec Burks. Shout out to all of these great NBA insiders for giving us the following updates about the New York Knicks and their trade interest in Bruce Brown. This is no surprise because as soon as he was traded from Indiana to the Raptors, the interest was instant. Almost instantly, whatever trade plans they had, they shifted it just a little bit because Bruce Brown was available. Let's not forget when Bruce Brown was interviewed. He was asked about Tom Thibodeau and New York. He had some glowing remarks. He said he loves Tom Thibodeau, loves New York, and clearly Tom Thibodeau has been a fan of Bruce Brown since his college years. So if he had the opportunity to coach him, he would jump at the chance. The Knicks have the opportunity right now to make a deal like that happen. As we heard from Forbes, one of the likely asking prices for Bruce Brown is going to be a first-round pick and one player of intrigue attached possibly. Now, it doesn't mean the Knicks have to give up Quentin Grimes and a couple of first-round picks. That doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. What it does seem like, though, is maybe it's going to be a protected pick and they might ask for Grimes, but hopefully, y'all hope they ask for Evan Fournier, because if they do that, the Knicks might be able to throw in a couple of second-round picks, Evan Fournier, and that first-round pick in order to get Bruce Brown. Given the way Quentin Grimes is playing right now and his value, I wouldn't want to include him in a Bruce Brown deal. I would rather hold on to Quentin Grimes and potentially, if I am going to trade him for an all-star player this offseason. You know, you could include Quentin Grimes, maybe another player, and a lot of picks to potentially facilitate an all-star type of trade to happen with this Knicks team. That's how good I think Quentin Grimes is going to look as he continues playing with this Knicks team off the bench. Because off the bench, he has looked very, very good. And if Masai Ujiri just wants a first-round pick as the centerpiece of any Bruce Brown trade, according to Mark Stein, then I think absolutely the New York Knicks already have the necessary assets available to make this trade happen. Now, he's not my first choice. he hasn't been my first choice because I believe he's a copy of Josh Hart. So don't kill me in the comments on this. I'm not advocating for a Bruce Brown move. But if the Knicks want to get better before the trade deadline, and they're looking at a number of different players, and they're looking at cost, if the Knicks could potentially get Bruce Brown for a protected first round pick, something they have a lot of, and they have a lot of their own first round picks as well too, and they could potentially convince the Raptors to take on Evan Fournier, and maybe you throw in a couple of second round picks in there as well too, that's a trade that's really hard to say no to if you're the New York Knicks. Again, there are a lot of players on the table right now. Shout out to my guy Jake Fisher, who recently reported that Tyus Jones from the Washington Wizards, if you potentially wait closer to the trade deadline, you could potentially get him for multiple second round picks. And multiple second round picks for a guy like Tyus Jones, somebody who can come off the bench instantly, that's probably music to Leon Rose's ear. If that happens, I can absolutely see him becoming a New York Knick. Let's not forget that he has experience playing under Tom Thibodeau back when they both were in Minnesota. So we can't take that away from Tyus Jones as well too. If he goes for multiple second round picks, and there are a lot of players off the board at that time, and the Knicks have not made a substantial trade at that point, they would absolutely look at Tyus Jones, and I think they would trade for him. But clearly, the New York Knicks are looking at other options on the board, like Bruce Brown, who is number one on their list, it looks like. And according to Mark Stein, the Lakers and the Knicks continue to be mentioned as interested suitors to try to trade for Bruce Brown. Those are the two teams. Those are the two main teams trying to get Bruce Brown right now. And the Knicks have all the assets and more to get that type of deal done. And if he's the only player available, if Bruce Brown is the only player left, or at least the only impactful player left on the board, then I have no problem with the New York Knicks going out and trading for him. There's a multitude of reasons why he makes sense, the contract being one of the main ones. Because if the Knicks trade for him, they'll have him for this season. He'll have a contract with the New York Knicks for next season. And if they want to make that trade in the offseason for a superstar, they potentially could use Grimes if they keep him, Bruce Brown, and a couple of picks to make that move for the all-star that they've always wanted. You see how that works there for the New York Knicks? And if they play Bruce Brown, he's going to have more value, way more value than Evan Fournier, which makes an all-star type of trade seem even more feasible. And Bruce Brown under Tom Thibodeau, talk about a match made in heaven. Those two together defensively are going to shut a lot of other teams down. Other opposing defenses are not going to know what to do with Bruce Brown off the bench. And he can also start for you. That's what he can give you. A starter, a bench player, somebody who can do it all. Sounds like Josh Hart. And that's why a lot of people are opposed to the deal. That's why I'm opposed to the deal. But if he's the only player left and he has impact on this team and you could potentially move him for one of your protected picks in Evan Fournier, I got to do the deal. Because if anything, he's still going to have more value than Fournier is on this team, and he can be somebody you can use to get that star that you want. That's one of the main reasons that I would do it, and I think the Knicks would do it. But also, Bruce Brown definitely plays a part, and he's not just somebody that you're adding just to trade for a star. The reason you can trade for a star for him is because when he comes to this team, under Tom Thibodeau, he's going to have an impact. We forget sometimes that he's a former champion with the Denver Nuggets last season. He's not a scrub. He's not a nobody. He can absolutely contribute to any team that he goes to. There's a reason that a number of contenders are looking to add Bruce Brown. The Knicks and Lakers are just two of them. Let's go ahead and look at some numbers so you understand what Bruce Brown has done this season. Brown, again, began the 2023-2024 season in Indiana, starting all of his 33 appearances and averaging 12.1 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 3.0 assists before being sent to the Raptors in the Siakam deal. In 6 games with 3 starts in Toronto, he's averaging 11.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists. That last part there that Bleacher Report stated is exactly what Leon Rose is waiting for. He is waiting for the New York Knicks to get a very good price point for any player that they're looking to trade for. And that absolutely includes Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is somebody, again, that the Knicks had interest in as soon as he was made a Raptor. That is absolutely certain. And as I just showed you there, he puts up numbers, he is productive, And if he came to the Knicks, he'd be doing that off the bench because he would get the minutes to do that and more off the bench. I just don't like it again because, again, he's a carbon copy basically of what Josh Hart is. And I don't need another player like Josh Hart on this team when I already have Josh Hart. That's how I feel about it. Bruce Brown does offer a little better shooting than Josh Hart does. But again, that's not really saying much when the real skill set of Bruce Brown is a mirror of what Josh Hart gives you as well too. They're both very much hustle type of players. That's what they're known for, and that's why the Lakers want them as well too. And I don't mind if the Lakers get them, only if the Knicks get somebody that's a little bit better and a little bit more impactful for the team that we're trying to build right now. And it's clear, everybody has said it till they're blue in the face. The Knicks are looking to make a small upgrade so they can upgrade their bench. If that's the case, we already know the names on the list. Alec Burks, Bruce Brown, Jordan Clarkson, and of course, Malcolm Brogdon. And out of all of those names, at this point in time, the name that's come up the most and has been linked to the Knicks the most has been Bruce Brown. I say it in almost every single video. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I think the Knicks' interest in Bruce Brown is real. I think they do want to trade for him, but I also think the New York Knicks are waiting to see if the Raptors are going to lower that price point for Bruce Brown. As soon as that happens, if it happens, the Knicks are going to pounce. They're going to call the Raptors, and they're going to try to make another trade with them to get Bruce Brown on this team. Because again, Tom Thibodeau is a fan of him. He loves him. And the last player we just signed for a 10-day contract was a Thibodeau favorite named who? Oh yeah, Taj Gibson. I mentioned that to say this. If Tom Thibodeau has a favorite player out there that the Knicks can get for a steal type of deal, they're going to do it. Bruce Brown, if his price point goes from here, even to here, Leon Rose and the Knicks will try to add him to this roster. And Tom Thibodeau will be smiling from ear to ear. But what about you guys? What do you think about this report that the New York Knicks are one of the active teams looking to trade for Bruce Brown, and now his price point potentially is centered around a first-round pick and maybe another player of merit? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.